looks like it's leaking where the water pump mates to the engine. Hello everyone, welcome back. I have neglected the water pump on my Durango for about as long as I can. It is currently spraying antifreeze onto the fan, and then the fan is spraying it pretty much everywhere underneath the hood. It's leaking quite a bit. We are planning on doing a 2 or 3 day trip here this week, so I need to get it changed. Anyway, so today we are going to change out the water pump. So to start with, got to take the fan off. I'm not sure we can even get it out without removing everything else, but it looks like this top shroud might come out fairly easily, or remove the alternator, or who knows what. But anyway, so we're going to start at the top, take it out, and put a new one in. Hope you enjoy. We got the overflow filler reservoir out. Now we'll work on getting the fan blade off. We used the same tool on Steven's Jeep. We put one tool, has 2 little pins on it. The pins are the right size. 2 pins, or 1 pin, or no pins, anyway. 2 pins go in like that. Hold it in place, and then you use the giant wrench while holding that in place, and you push it out of the way, and then it spins off of there. So now it's loose, so we can remove all of our fancy tools. And it'll just spin off. Now we'll take the belt off, which is just putting the pocket on there. 14. Make it 15. Just put some tension on it. Whoops, wrong way. There you go. My experience in the past has been that it takes you longer to put the stupid belt back on in the right configuration than it does to do everything else. So I have no idea where exactly it was leaking. But it was definitely leaking water from the side of it. I don't think it was leaking out the weep hole. Well, it might have been leaking a little. I think it was leaking. When I was looking at it before, I think it was leaking out the side somewhere. But kind of hard to tell for sure sometimes. Alright, remove the old gasket, put the new gasket on, put it back together. Alright, so we got the surface all cleaned off, wiped down, sweeping a little bit out of the engine block, but that'll be fine. It's all cleaned off. Looks like there's a new O-ring for the end of this tube, so we will put that on there. There. And then this goes like this. This is going to roughly go, those bolts are about the same, so it's got to go just right down in there like that, and then it'll adjust to wherever it needs to go for the bolt. And then this gasket, I like to put just a little bit of gasket maker on there, mostly to help keep the gasket in place while you're trying to line the bolts up. Otherwise the gasket likes to move around, not stay where you want it to. It can make your job just that much harder, so I just dab a little. Just spread it around. Orient your gasket the way it's supposed to go. No, not that way. Looks good there. Press it on. You can put some on the other side too. Just the reason I use gasket maker along with the gasket is the gasket maker stuff will fill in any small little grooves in the metal that the gasket's not going to get into. Don't want to use too much because you don't want it to get sucked into your cooling system and clog something up somewhere. But use just a little bit to help seal along the edge. Just like that. So we got the hoses reattached. Top one, tighten the bolt. Bottom one, put the clamps back on. Got the middle hose there, the clamp on it. All the bolts are tight. So we got it all back together. Overflow bottles in, all the hoses are hooked up, verified, thermostat's back in, lower hose is done. So now we will start it up and check for leaks. One thing we did notice when we were putting the belt back on, the clutch on the air conditioner, the bearing is worn out. So I put the belt back on long enough we can start it and check and look for leaks, but we will be getting a shorter belt for now so we can drive it until springtime and it gets hot enough I need to worry about the air conditioning. So currently you can hear the bearing making a lot of noise, but it's just so we can check for leaks, and then we're going to get a shorter belt and bypass the air conditioner. Alright, so after a couple of different attempts on the belt, we finally found the right one that fits. It's 89.5, I believe. So we tried an 88.5, it was too short. So we just bypassed the pump compressor for the AC, because that is definitely not good. We don't want it to seize up and break the belt. So we put a shorter belt on it. One other thing to make note of: when you drain most of the fluid out of your system and then go to fill it up on this, you need to leave the cap off, fill it up as much as you can, and then start it and let it warm up. And then once the thermostat opens and you see coolant flowing past, keep filling it a little at a time until it gets full, and then put the cap on, turn it off, and that should be good. I just filled it, started it, and then it had an air pocket in the water pump, so it wasn't cooling, wasn't circulating. So lesson learned for me. Never had this type of a cooling system before other than on this vehicle, so lesson learned. Anyway, so it's all up, there's no leaks, everything's back together, and we'll drive around, make sure that everything's good, but I think that's it. So we appreciate you watching, and hopefully this will help some of you in the future as well. Until next time.